Hi leaders, this is Renee Pugh and I wanted to come today and do a really quick live video and share some tips with you that I have. I've been seeing a lot of posts in different groups that I'm in asking for people to share their Facebook script for spring and just some tips to make their Facebook parties successful. And so while I'm not here to share my script, I am here to share what works for me, since Facebook partying is my jam, I will say. And what I have seen to work for me over the last year and a half. Hi, Sarah. So just so a couple people join us, I'm just going to give you a little backstory of my business history and how I've gotten here. So about a year and a half, hi, Erin. A year and a half ago, I was a home party girl, like 100%. I loved a home party. I loved getting out, meeting new women. I have 2 little boys, and I feel like that was my girl time. You know, it's a lot of yours. What you guys joined for was for girl time. And I love that. And I still do love that. But I started getting people asking me for Facebook parties, and it scared me silly. Like, I transitioned from home parties to Facebook parties, kicking and screaming, literally, because it was just a big trial and error period, because we all know with Facebook parties, there's not like one size that fits all, right? But it has been such a blessing in the end, because not only has my business grown significantly, my business, has doubled over the last 12 months. My team is now over doubled, and we're all over the US, which is really exciting and a little bit scary for me. But all that to say, I'm now like 90% online. So I do pretty much all of my work from home. So that's why I have no makeup on, and my hair's a mess, and I'm still in my leggings because I've been working in my office and it's supposed to snow. So that's kind of the beauty of the flexibility of our business, is that we get to work from home. So I don't get to get all dolled up and go out and do home parties as much anymore, but I still love what I do 150%. So with all that being said, I've been seeing a lot of people posting and asking for Facebook party scripts for spring, and I just wanted to share that the reason a lot of us don't share our scripts is because it's really what works for us, and there is not a one-size-fits-all. And so I'm just going to share with you what works for me, and then you can kind of tailor that to you and make it work for you. So what works for me is I've tried a lot of different party styles, but the one that works best for me is a 5-day party. And I start it on a Thursday and I run it through a Monday. And I do that because I feel like people have more time on the weekends to check in and read my posts and to engage than they do, say, Monday through Friday. I also try to go over a weekend so that people get paid. Not everyone gets paid every week or every other week, but it will hit a lot of people's paydays on Friday. So those are 2 of the reasons I do it the days that I do. I do 5 days because it's not too long, but it's long enough to give me the opportunity to share the things I want to share with them. And they engage quicker, whenever it's not too many days. I've tried one-night live parties, and they haven't worked for me. I've tried 7-day parties, and they haven't worked for me. So this is just where I came to the happy medium in between. However, there's so many of you in this group that are Facebook party rock stars just the same, and you guys do those party styles. So I'm not saying they don't work. This is just what works for me and my family. What I do for my Facebook party script is day number 1 on Thursday, I post a lot of fun things. So we start out with some engagement posts and sharing with them what is 31, what is 31 gives, what's our customer special for the month, how do you shop, how much is the shipping, stuff like that, just kind of housekeeping items, and then I put some fun things in there. Have you guys seen that fun personality post? What's your personality? And they can comment with a letter, and then you comment back with the corresponding graphic to ask them if this is their personality, spelled out with P-U-R-S-E. That's just a fun engagement post. It's probably one of my most commented posts in my Facebook party. So I do stuff like that on day number 1. I also make sure that they know about my VIP group, and that they know about my giveaway survey, which I'm going to talk a little bit more about in a minute. Day number 2, I really sat down and I had to think, what do I do at my home parties that I can duplicate on Facebook? And for me, I share the 3 categories, the just for you, the just for your home, and just for your family. So I broke that down into 3 different days. So day number 2 is just for you. And I share all about the purses and the wallets and the jewelry and the fun things that we can buy for ourselves. And I do them in different posting groups. So I do a post about wallets, but I highlight the Benjamin's wallet because that is, first of all, my number 1 favorite product and my number 1 best-selling item. And so I highlight that one, but I also throw in a couple other wallets in there as well, just in case it's not the style they're looking for. Same thing with the purses. And then I have a special Studio by 31 post that I have just because it needs its own, right? It's so gorgeous and fun all together, and so I have its own post for that. As far as my content, I make graphics, I find real life pictures, and I make videos. So last week you guys saw me post about how I was doing a video day. And so I did a video just on Studio by 31, and I'm sharing that in all of my parties to show them how it works. And I have a YouTube channel, and that's how I share my videos into my parties. I used to try to do it live, but the flexibility is not there for me to do that when I usually party 3 to 4 times a week on Facebook. And so I created a YouTube channel, and I can just share that link into each of the posts that I want to. So that is one of the ways that I use my content. Day number 2 is just for your home. So of course the new gorgeous close to home collection of the wood items, I'm sharing that. I'm sharing any organization products that we have. I'm sharing real life pictures of my spaces organized with the cubes and the rectangles and everything else like that, because my customers go crazy over real life pictures. They could care less about stock photos. Now I realize there's some things out there now with spring that we don't have real life pictures of yet, but there's some great groups if you're a part of that you can find real life pictures really quickly, and you can start using them in your Facebook parties. So definitely use real life pictures and videos anytime you can to get their attention. Day number, so that was day number 1, 2. So now day number 3, day number 4, I share about the just for your family items. So there we would have the thermals, all of the utility line, things for kids, stuff like that. And I just focus on all of this, each of those categories every single day. That's so fun, Erin. Amanda, I do not have a written outline. That's kind of why I've done this video. At the beginning, I said there is not a one-size-fits-all script. And so I'm just sharing with you guys what works for me, and you can duplicate it into what will work for you. Okay, so then after I share the just for your family, the last day on Monday is kind of like a wrap-up and reminders, and I share with them, don't forget about the customer special I shared about. Don't forget to fill out my giveaway form or join my VIP group, and then just some fun extra things in there. Each day I also throw in booking seeds, recruiting seeds, because I want to also be planting those seeds along the way, and I just kind of randomly put them in there. A very good suggestion that I had from a friend of mine this season was to do my engagement post in the morning. If you've heard people do or share Facebook partying tips on their VIP groups or whatever, a lot of times people say, do engagement posts in the morning, fun, fluffy engagement posts, because people engage on those better in the morning, and they engage better on deep stuff in the afternoon or evening. So that's what I'm going to be doing this season. So I have all of my fun engagement posts in the mornings, and then I have my booking and recruiting seeds and my product categories. I'm sharing them throughout the afternoon and the evening. Hi, Adriana. I do use Post My Party. So that is such a blessing for me because it helps me to be consistent, and I don't have to worry about going to my computer and posting at the certain times of the day. So all I have to do then is I apply my script to my parties, and then I just check into my parties each day, and I answer people's questions along the way. So that's been so helpful. Okay, so that is how I do my parties. That's my script pretty much. But I also have 4 do's and a couple don'ts that I wanted to share with you. Kind of like to highlight some of those different areas of the party. So the first do is take the time to create your own script. I know it seems daunting and you're like, where do I even begin? But you can take the skeleton script that we have on TOT and add to that to kind of give you some basics, or just what I told you here, how I do mine. You can start with that if you have never done a Facebook party before. But I take about 2 to 3 days at the beginning of every catalog season, and I sit down and I make up my entire script for the season, and it lasts for 6 months. So you only have to do that twice a year, which is really nice. For this season, I sat down and I looked at my script for fall, and I thought, what worked for me last fall and what do I need to change up? And so I kind of already had a skeleton, and you'll get that over time as you do this, but you can kind of just tweak it to see what you need to change, and of course changing out your graphics and your videos and stuff like that. But it wasn't quite as daunting this time because I did have that skeleton already formed. The next do is be yourself. Reflect your personality and make it a party that you would find enjoyable attending. So that is probably my #1 tip when creating your script, is think about, if I was going to attend this party as a guest, would I find this to be fun? Would I find this to be enjoyable? Would I want to engage? Would I want to order? A lot of times I get invited, and probably you all get invited to so many direct sales parties all the time, because that's just what we're in, right? We're in that industry. And I'll just sometimes go and check them out because I just want to see if they have any fun ideas I could incorporate into my Facebook party style. But a lot of times I find that they're really boring. And I'm like, I would never want to engage in a party like that. So I don't want people to think that about my parties, right? I want my parties to be fun. I want them to come back and book with me. I want them to have a good time. So think about that whenever you're making up your script, whether it be the way you say your words or the graphics that you share or just things like that. Something I do to get engagement is I do participation points or party points. You can call it whatever you want. But they get party points for doing different things. And I have a graphic that I share at the beginning of the party that tells them kind of the whole list of ways they can earn party points. Then at the bottom of each of my posts, I always have an action step. So, you know, in Leadership Live, how Lou always gives us an action step at the end of the day or end of the meeting, I do the same thing for my posts. So if I am wanting them to comment on that with, you know, their takeaway or what their favorite thing was or whatever, I finish my post with 4 party points. Please tell me which of the 2 customer specials you would purchase if you spent $35. Just an example. For this month, would they pick the 2 bins or would they pick the deluxe organizing utility tote? Because I want them to interact. And so that's one big tip, is if you're ending your post just with a statement about the product, like, I love the Benjamin's wallet, it is my favorite ever, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. What are they supposed to comment on? You know, why are they supposed to like it unless they like the wallet? But with this action step, it gets them, they have to comment about something in order to get entered into my drawing for my prize at the end. So always have an action step on your post. And then just make it fun, reflect your personality. I know this is just like an insecurity of mine, but I just don't think I'm fun sometimes. And then other people tell me that I am fun. So just be yourself and people will love you for that. When you're genuine, that will show through, and your passion for the products will show through as well. Okay, my #3 do is get your hostess involved. And this is probably one of the most important do's, because you can post all the time that you want. You can post anything you want, and your hostess could be missing in action and the party could be a flop. You need her to partner with you to make the party successful. So instead of going through all my hostess coaching steps, if you guys have not seen my 31-minute call, I did a 31-minute call last May, I think it was May 8th, on Facebook parties and how to qualify new consultants through Facebook parties. And in that call, I go into great detail about my hostess coaching steps, because I feel like that's one of the most important parts of the party. So now you're getting the Facebook script training here, and you can go back and watch my hostess coaching tips there. But it's under the share tab on the 31-minute call archives. Anyways, all that to say, I tell my hostess from the very beginning, I'm like, I need you to partner with me to make the party successful. Your guests know you, they don't know me. And so if you can give me 10 to 15 minutes a day during these 5 days of your party, that can make or break your party. And one of my biggest tips, I will share this with you, one of my biggest hostess coaching steps that I tell my hostess to do is to create a guest list. Before we even get her party started, I want her to take a piece of paper, write down as many names as she can think of, and I want her to send a message to each person, personally inviting them to her party that's coming up the next week or that weekend or whatever, because they need that personal connection. And I have a lot of hostesses balk about that. They'll say, I don't have time. They'll say, the best I can do is do a group message. And I'm like, listen, if you can't do this step, we're not doing your party. That's just the way it is, because that little step is huge in the quality of the people that join into your party. And so I have a hostess, just a real life example. Last month, she was balking and saying she didn't have any time to send messages. And I said, listen, Jen, it literally takes 10 or 15 minutes. Just sit down, type out a message, inviting your friends to the party, copy and paste to each person on your list. She did that. She's a Posh consultant. Her party was over $600, and she thanked me over and over and over again for making her do that. And she said, guess what? I'm going to do that in all my Posh parties now, because it really makes a difference in the people that join into your party. And so I just tell them, if you can't partner with me to make your party a success, we're going to postpone it till next week, or we're going to postpone it till next month. And I've done that before. And then when they're ready and when they can commit to giving me 10 or 15 minutes a day of their time, we will do their party. So I'm not going to run a Facebook party with a hostess missing in action, and then it's going to be a waste of my time and a waste of their time. Summer, I'm glad this is what you needed today. Okay, the last do is make a giveaway form for your parties. So if you don't know what this is, I'll post my giveaway form on the bottom of the comments after I'm done with the video here. But a giveaway form is basically a door prize slip. It's just electronically done. So I do mine in Google Drive. It's a Google form, and it gets their information. It tells them about my VIP group. It tells them about the customer specials. It shows them about the business opportunity kits, and then asks them if they would be interested in booking a party, if they would be interested in joining my Hostess of the Month Club, if they would be interested in becoming a bag lady, in fun ways, of course. And I have a lot of people that fill these out that never place an order or never join my VIP group, but they fill it out and they'll indicate that they're interested in doing a party or they're interested in joining my Hostess of the Month Club. And if they wouldn't have filled out that form, I never would have known that because I didn't follow up with them because they didn't place an order or whatever. So the giveaway form has been huge, and I would say I recommend highly posting that in every single party that you do, as well as in your VIP groups monthly, because it can get you a lot of new contacts and get conversations going with people that you maybe would never have had the opportunity otherwise. Okay, so now I have 3 don'ts. The first don't is don't copy someone else's script. I've said that earlier, but it's not going to work for you because I've tried it. I've seen other people do it, and that's why people aren't sharing their scripts, because it does not work whenever you just take someone else's verbiage and someone else's graphics and use it in your party. It's not your personality. It's not your style. It's not your words. It's not going to work. You need to be genuine and true to yourself in order for it to work. So with all that being said, you can take someone else's script that they may share and you can tweak it to be your own. You can add some new posts or add some new graphics or add some new words, but don't just take it and use it word for word and picture for picture, because it's not going to work for you. Whitney, I do use the same giveaway form for every party. I have a question in there that says about who is your hostess. I actually use the same giveaway form for an entire 12 months. So I run it with our fiscal year. So I started mine on June 1st, and I will run it until the end of May. And then I will create a new one and run it for the next year. That allows 2 things. It allows the information that I'm gathering to stay pretty current. So, you know, someone that filled it out in the month of June, obviously now they may have changed their mind about hosting a party or whatever, but it keeps it relevant to the season that we're in or the year that we're in. And then anytime that I need bookings or I'm looking for Hostess of the Month Club members, I can go back and I can see people on that list or in my form that had indicated they were interested, but they maybe never booked that the last couple months. So that is how I run my form. So I use the same one, and then what I do is I do one giveaway every month. So I do it in my VIP group. So on the first day of the month, I draw a winner from my VIP or from my giveaway form entries. So they know that whenever they fill it out, it says on the first of the month, I will be pulling a winner in my VIP group. And then I make a big deal about it, and I announce the winner, and I share the form again. I say, if you haven't been entered into my drawing yet, you can do so here by clicking on this link, and then they can fill it out. And I'll always get like about 10 people that would fill it out for my VIP group at the beginning of the month because they've missed it before. Okay, so number 2 don't feel like it has to be perfect in order to start partying on Facebook. So a lot of you are probably really comfortable with home parties, but one of the reasons I want to share this is because we're getting a pay raise this month, and don't you want to add to your PV to get, you know, a bigger paycheck? I know I do. That was the first thing that I thought of whenever they announced it is, I'm in control of my paycheck with my PV. I can up my paycheck just by adding an additional party. And the other thing is, we all have parties that flop. Facebook parties flop quicker than home parties just because sometimes you just have hostesses that don't do what you tell them to do or ask them to do. So you have to overbook. You have to overbook your month. So if you have a goal of having 5 parties a month, if you're partying on Facebook, you're going to want to have a goal of having 8 parties a month, because the reality is 2 to 3 of them probably won't turn out. Or they may have some orders and not hit party level. So if you are comfortable with home parties and you're thinking that you want to start adding some more parties to your books, but your schedule really doesn't allow, this is a great way to add to your PV and your paycheck, because you can do it while you're home and while you're in your sweatpants and your leggings, or while you're running around with your kids, and especially with summer coming up and all the activities we have going on. Give it a try now before you need the PV or before you need the parties and you want your paycheck to be higher than what it is. So what I would suggest is, if you've not ever partied on Facebook before, just reach out to some of your top VIPs. Easton, just a minute, honey. Reach out to some of your top VIPs and offer them this party style, and just say, I'm going to try something new. I would love for you to be a guinea pig for me, and let me know some feedback on it. Maybe you have some friends out of state, or people in your VIP group that are out of state. You could reach out to them and see if they would be interested in being your first Facebook party hostesses. Okay, and my last don't is don't give up if it doesn't work the first couple of times. I had so many flops when I first started Facebook partying, and I didn't give up because I was determined to make it work. I am not a quitter, if you know me. I am very determined, and I have a huge drive. And so when people were asking for these, I was like, I have to make this work. I have to make this work. So even though my one-night party was failing and nobody was joining my live videos, and even though my 7-day party was failing and nobody was sticking out the full 7 days and I wasn't getting orders, I had to tweak it to work for me. And I found that, I found my comfort zone now, and this is what works for me. But I've been doing it for 1.5 years. So don't give up the first couple times that you have a flop party or that your hostess goes missing in action. You're going to learn along the way. And this is just what I'm sharing with you, what works now that I've learned along the way to work for me. So I hope that was helpful, and I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have. You can just comment here with them, and I'll get back to them as I can. And like I said, I'll share my giveaway form that I do in the comments below, so you can check that out and duplicate that. But just take what I shared with you today and make it your own. That's why I don't share the actual words and the verbiage and the pictures and all that, because it's mine, it's my own, it's what I created. But you can do the same thing for you and make it work for you this coming season. Amanda, hostess coaching tips are on my 31-minute call under the Learn tab on TOT, and then under the Share tab. And if you scroll back to May the 8th, you can watch my 31-minute call and all of my hostess coaching tips. Okay? All right, thanks for all of you that joined me and stuck it out to the end. See you later.